Classroom Discipline 101, how to get control of any classroom, no matter how tough the students. Now you might be thinking, Craig, if you think you can get control of any classroom, you haven't seen my classroom. Well, I probably have. I've been a teacher in some of Los Angeles' toughest schools for over 20 years. I've taught full-time at inner-city middle schools, high schools, probation camps for juvenile offenders of all ethnicities and backgrounds, and I've also been a day-to-day and long-term substitute in well over 80 schools. It's safe to say I've faced just about any difficult situation that can come up in a classroom. I've experienced everything you might be experiencing now. Noisy students, disruptive students, defiant students, manipulative students, low-level buzz, students out of their seats, students arguing with you, students not paying attention, students acting as if you aren't even there. And what I consider the absolute worst thing going on in American schools today, disrespect. Many times extreme disrespect towards a teaching professional, which I find absolutely intolerable. The stress the modern classroom might be causing you is enormous. You may even feel let down, that you got into this profession to help students achieve, and instead of being appreciated for that, you are facing a wall of disruption and disrespect. Well, a disruptive classroom can ruin your teaching day, your semester, and your career. It can take its toll on your blood pressure and other parts of your physical health, as well as take its toll on your mental health, cause discouragement, depression, anxiety. You are not alone if this is the way you feel. Teachers are burning out, and they are leaving the profession early, and this is a shame, especially when the majority of you got in the profession to bring some of your wonderful gifts to students in the first place. You should be appreciated for that, not suffer for it. I know teachers are experiencing stress and emotional pain over this. You are expected to keep this wonderful classroom environment, but aren't given the proper tools to do the job. And you're often advised to use idealistic techniques that simply have nothing to do with the reality of your situation or help you get the environment you want and deserve. And you go home stressed out and sometimes dreading coming into work each day, knowing what you have to face. Let me give you an example. If you've been told things like have high expectations for students and to use alternative teaching strategies and to point out what appropriate behavior is as an intervention, these are abstract concepts and you need concrete results. You cannot use high expectations to discipline a student. You can't achieve classroom discipline with positive expectations any more than you can bring down a charging rhinoceros with loving feelings. Now, you may well have loving feelings for that rhinoceros, but you are not going to be able to bring it down with them. To achieve high expectations, you need practical methods. Pointing out to a student that their behavior is inappropriate does nothing to correct that behavior long term. I'm going to show you how to get an environment where students don't repeat these behaviors. See, it's not one or the other. Discipline or positive expectations for the students. You need discipline because you have high expectations for the students. And by creating the right atmosphere is the only way you are going to get those marvelous things you have to offer across to them. Does that make sense? The people who suggest these abstract techniques and complicated intervention steps don't seem to realize that you might have 12 students per class doing inappropriate behaviors, and that if you are busy addressing these every day, you'll never get around to teaching. Brittany, turn around. I have high expectations for you. Marlon, stop talking because I understand your cultural background. Genghis, if you don't put that blowtorch down right now, I'm going to put a check on the board, and if you get a second check, I'll be disappointed. That's a warning. That's a warning. That's a special warning. That's a check and a warning. You're in big trouble now. You cannot spend an enjoyable teaching career this way. If you don't do something about it, things are not going to improve on their own. You can't hope to get better classes next year, or that students will suddenly start learning more respect in the home, or to try to ride it out until that one problem student leaves your class. Guess what? He or she will be back next year, disguised as someone else. The faces may change, but the behavior stays the same. Well, when you just hope for things to change for the better, you take the power out of your hands and put it out there where you have no control and have to hope something on the outside changes. You can't hope that administration backs you up and takes care of your problems. You can't hope that a parent call home will solve the problem or a visit to the counselor. These things take the power out of your hands. I'm going to show you in Classroom Discipline 101 how to put the power back into your hands where it belongs. I don't want to see teachers suffer this stress anymore in their classrooms. It just should not be a part of your day. Now, how do you eliminate behavior problems in a classroom no matter how tough the student? You do it principally by accountability and leverage. Now, I want you to remember that the system I give you step by step in Classroom Discipline 101 is the same system I've used to get some of the most out of control, defiant, disrespectful students in the country to behave like model students, okay? That's high expectations. Classroom Discipline 101 is what I call a closed system, just like math is a closed system, meaning there is no doubt about the outcome. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4, and using what I show you in the book will always get your classroom in order. I don't give you a few techniques to try. Instead, I show you how to set things up in any classroom so that students end up having to behave. Sound good? My whole paradigm is that you must have an atmosphere where you are spending all of your time and energy with the instruction, not disciplining students. Otherwise, you're going to get worn down, discouraged, burn out. And that's what's happening to teachers in schools all across America today. Well, I'm glad you found this site because you are going to be part of a different club, what I call my MPTs, manipulation-proof teachers. I'm going to teach you how to teach your students to not even want to try that stuff with you. That does not mean if you were to enter my class it would look like a military dictatorship. It's going to look like what a classroom should look like. A quiet, focused, respectful, on-task group of students learning to the best of their ability and getting an education in a sane atmosphere. That's what I call a positive environment. To end your stress, you've got to know you have the tools to get this result with any class, anywhere, anytime. You're going to use these techniques in order to eliminate behavior problems by stopping most of them from occurring in the first place. That's the problem with the other ideas out there. They think you have the energy to start over every day. What I'm offering to you is a promise. I'm not saying try this and good luck. I'm teaching you do this, and your classrooms will be in order or take your money back. That, I think, is as good as it gets. And the real beauty is once you have the system I outline in Classroom Discipline 101 and know how to implement it, things run on autopilot. You're not repeating yourself to the students day in and day out, trying out useless intervention steps over and over and over again. Now, can you picture having that for your own classroom starting this week and continuing for the rest of your career? Do you want that for your career? If you're out there trying to teach over a little buzz, it means the concentration and learning power of all of the students is down. Not good enough. You know when you teach something and 3 days later the students have forgotten it? That's because of that lack of concentration that comes with that buzz. Come on, let's not talk about high expectations. Let's demand them as the adults in charge of our children's future. I look at it not like a game, but like a movie where the script is already written and the outcome is inevitable. And guess who the hero or heroine is? It's you. You're the hero or the heroine, the teacher, and when you win, that's right, the students win because they get a better education. Now, the great thing here is that you can download Classroom Discipline 101 and try it without any risk. If the book doesn't show you the way, absolutely, to get the kind of classroom environment you want and deserve, you will get a prompt and courteous refund, no questions asked. There's absolutely no risk to you. So let's consider. Things can go on in your class the way they've been going on. You can continue to dread all or part of your teaching day, or you can start right now to take the steps you need to have the classroom environment you want and deserve and end that chronic stress right now. Wouldn't it be wonderful to come to school every day and walk into your classroom knowing for sure that you're going to get respect, knowing for sure that you are going to have the students' attention, knowing for sure that you are going to get the on-task behavior you need for an enjoyable teaching experience? That's right. You should be enjoying yourself. Well, you can hit the order button and download Classroom Discipline 101 and have this information within minutes. I guarantee you will learn more from this book in the next couple of hours than you did in all your years of college and teaching about how to get your classroom in order. Not only that, I'm going to give you some free bonus materials when you order. I'm going to give you the e-books, The Psychology of a Manipulation-Proof Teacher, The Evolution of a Classroom Discipline Expert, The Substitute Survival Manual, and a free MP3 audio interview called Stopping Problems Before They Enter the Classroom. There's a lot you can do at the door before students even get into your class, and I elaborate on that in that audio interview. Now, all this is really maybe hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of value if you consider a lifetime of headaches and frustration you're going to avoid, but I'm going to give it to you for less than an hour's teaching salary. And we all know that's not much. Now, if that's not enough, you're also going to be able to post questions on the Classroom Discipline 101 blog and receive the Classroom Discipline 101 newsletter free to make sure your teaching is a stress-free, enjoyable experience. That's my goal for all teachers. So thank you for your time. I congratulate you for taking the steps you need to get the classroom environment